Hit pause every Tuesday. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We got Ayman.
That's me.
And we got David.
That's you.
Here we are.
Okay, that was sweet. That was spot on. That was not even practiced, That was just totally off the cuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way we do it. That's the way we do it over here at the Hippos Podcast. The podcast where we talk about a different YouTuber every week, unpack them, talk about what they're all about, unravel them.
A YouTuber unboxing.
Unboxing, yes. It's unboxing for YouTubers. So this week, David, we're covering...
Rooster Teeth.
Rooster Teeth, that's right. So you may have heard of them, kind of a big one, actually.
Yeah, they've been around for, a long time. And pre-YouTube as well.
So before we get started, would you consider yourself a fan?
So, even though this season we were going to say, we're going to cover YouTubers that we haven't really covered before, but because we're picking categories and this is the film and TV one, I do know about them. I am kind of a fan. They were my first actual YouTube channel / video that I've watched.
Were they your first sub?
Yep, first sub, and they're...
Oh my
first like is one of their videos as well.
First like? Yeah. Oh, which video?
It's something, Joel plays Connect animals. So remember Connect?
Yeah.
When that came out, there's basically one of those free games that come with it, and they just do a narration over it, where they're pretending that I think it was a cub or a lion was their best friend and they was in danger. No, come back.
Is it good? Did you watch it again recently?
I should, but I don't know if I can. It might only be funny back then. But have you heard about them?
So I've heard a lot about them, yeah. I watched them years and years ago before, I don't know when they got the name Rooster Teeth. Did they have that name from the start?
That's a good point. I don't know. I felt like they had many names for their podcast, that's for sure. But Rooster Teeth, I would say so. Definitely when they became or were considering becoming a limited company. Yeah, Rooster Teeth was the brand.
Okay, well, I watched them when they first started doing the Red versus Blue videos.
Oh yeah.
Which were their thing. That's what made them famous. That's
who they are. Yeah. So I guess for a bit of context for anyone who's maybe not heard of Rooster Teeth before, they just imagine a bunch of bros, I think it was 4 guys. Can't really name all their names, but Bernie Burns being one of them, who's kind of the creative director and co-founder. He just had an idea of they loved Halo, the game on Xbox, and they just kind of made a story, they made characters out of the characters in the game, and they would just use the images and kind of stock footage of them playing it and just add voices over.
Yeah. So they were actually, so everybody knows the word machinima as the company, machinima. But machinima actually means,
it's kind of the art of it, isn't it?
Well, it's just movies or cinema made with, animated characters, but not animated characters in, Pixar movies, animated in the sense of a game or something like that.
Yeah.
So they pretty much invented machinima. Or if they didn't invent it, they made it really popular. Red versus Blue was the first really big one.
Yeah, and loads of people obviously ran with that idea afterwards.
Man, thinking back to watching those Red versus Blue videos, that was early days internet. That was just
it was
the first kind of viral. Well, not the first viral thing, but it's just when all those first viral things were coming out.
Definitely.
There was Pure Ownage as well that came out then.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
That was around the same time.
That's true.
I remember I had this one friend he lived really near me. We used to go over play games and just watch viral videos.
The funny thing is you say that and there's how there's adverts for movies or whatever. If there was ever an advert for the internet, so you've not had the internet before and someone's trying to sell it to you, those are the kind of videos they would show you.
That is a great idea for a video. That's actually a sick
advertising
idea.
The internet.
Yeah, do you the internet, the advert?
I see. Yeah, what's those ones that you call in? Telemarketing or whatever. Just do one for
To be honest, I can imagine it's already been done and I bet it's really funny. I'm going to look that up.
It was probably done in the, 9 years ago. But yeah, I'm curious. I'll search that as well.
So yeah, that was their first kind of series.
And that was pre-YouTube as well. So like...
Oh, yeah. It was, wasn't it?
So going back to like the four of them, they just kind of made it and they would try and distribute it out for people to watch. And I remember hearing them talking about it in the past, how they like internet was like expensive to upload videos, that they would just suffer the money and just like put it out there and pay by megabyte basically.
But you said as well, didn't they burn CDs?
Oh yeah. So once they got a bit of a crowd and they were like have to try and make more and people wanted more, they couldn't afford like the bandwidth or whatever it was back then. So they had to like burn it on CDs and try and like at least ask for like the money for postage and then they'll send it to them. So like it was the community was there.
That's awesome. Yeah. It's actually awesome.
Yeah.
You know, going back and watching those old, like the original Red vs. Blue videos, they are still so funny.
Yeah, definitely recommend just watching season 1 to get an idea.
Yeah. And they're only like, I don't know what, 5
They're really short. Yeah, they're really short.
They're so funny. But I watched one of the recent ones, like, because they're still making this show, so it's been like 10 years.
I suppose you wouldn't want to end it if it's like, because they always sell it's the first online video series, blah, blah, blah. You got to keep it going. Why not?
Yeah, why not? Exactly. Yeah. But the recent ones are just, I just don't like it.
Yeah.
They're just, the recent ones are more like an actual TV show, but not a very entertaining
it's almost like they're
one.
taking the machinima out of it because it's so much of a new thing now.
Yeah.
Rather than the clever bit of taking,
something. I mean, hey, fair enough. Like, I'm sure people enjoy that.
Yeah, there's nothing, I can't imagine anything that's loved for that long without a bit of like, oh, it's not the same.
Yeah,
like, no matter how good it is.
But there's going to be people that watch the current one and are like, the old one is, that's shitty.
Yeah, I can't go back in time and watch that.
Yeah, exactly. It's like going back and watching any old YouTube video and you're like, this 240p, my eyes.
Look at the thumbnail, it's so blurry. Is that text? I can't see it.
Jeez, these guys couldn't even do clickbait back then. Clickbait wasn't even invented back then.
That is true. They probably, you just used like any, like 14 seconds in the video, you just used the screenshot of
There wasn't enough internet to go around, so everyone was like desperate, anything.
Like, I gotta upload a JPEG? No, thank you.
Yeah. So what do you kind of most like on their channel? Because they have a lot of different series. Like, their basic setup is several different series that are completely just TV shows.
Yeah.
So they're basically a TV channel now.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Or a TV producer, I guess.
Yeah, because they used to just have random stuff. Then they started, like, I guess, turning it into different series. So you had your Red versus Blue. You had, like, Ruby, which is another animated series. You had Immersion, where they would, like... So they just try and reenact in real life. So, like, Last of Us, the game. So they just try and get, like, 2 lab rats, which are always the same 2 people in their company, and just basically put them in a situation where they have to, like, do a level of it. So, like, they'll be upside down and zombies would come, or they'll do real life Pac-Man. Kind of like just...
Oh, you know what? I think I might have seen real life Pac-Man.
Oh, yeah?
Like, around supermarkets and stuff. Maybe that was a different thing.
Maybe. I mean, in fairness, like, just typing that on YouTube, you'll see many people who try that. I think they always do theirs in, like, a big warehouse, because they're actually based in Texas, so, like, they got a lot of open space to do stuff.
That's cool. So what's your favorite, what kind of, what one of their shows or series do you come back and watch?
So it's actually stopped now, but there's a guy in Rooster Teeth called Michael Jones, and he does a series called Rage Quit, which everyone knows what Rage Quit is. Yeah. It's just people getting angry at the game they're playing. Yeah. But it's the first thing I kind of really got into, and it's still, like, my favorite.
Oh,
just seeing him get pissed off.
Oh, so that's more like a Let's Play type thing.
Yeah. So Rooster Teeth is difficult to explain because they started off with that, and then they made separate channels for those things. So, like, they have a news channel called The Know, where it started off on Rooster Teeth.
What sort of news?
So they do gaming news, then they do gaming industry, and now a bit of movie and, like, Hollywood. So, like, they made a whole new, you could even call it a company that has a good amount of subscribers, blah, blah, blah. And they've done that for.
It's funny. So many big YouTubers have their roots in gaming.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just interesting. Like, I guess that, I know on YouTube, the gaming kind of audience, is the biggest one.
Yeah.
Like, there's more gaming videos on YouTube than any other type of content.
I can imagine that.
Just as a side note, by the way, it's just crazy to me that YouTube doesn't support it better. Like, they have the YouTube gaming app.
Sure, whatever.
But have
whatever
you been
that
on that?
does.
Like, it's just a black theme. Yeah. It's just like a dark
That's
theme.
all I thought it was. I was like wrong. I thought it was like, oh, surely they do more than that, but I'm the ignorant one. Is it literally just a black theme?
Basically, yeah. Like, and they've tried some Twitch-like things, like arranging things into games.
Sure,
but it's just not done very well. It's just not useful. It's like so half-hearted.
Yeah.
You're like, this is your audience, man. Like, support it, please. But yeah, so many big YouTubers like really came out of that gaming.
That is true.
Stuff.
I guess that's like originally that's where people would go for like guides in a game and stuff like that. It was like the primary like almost like
that's
directory
true.
of finding
Thing is,
what you want.
Gamers as well are always on the like cutting edge of internet stuff.
That's true.
Because they spend the most time online.
And you can tell if that's the case because it developed what we have Twitch now. So
yeah,
it's because of how much.
Exactly, yeah. And they're social online. That's the other thing. Like, you can spend a lot of time online, but if you're not social, as in like spending time in games with people, then you're not going to get as much of that just, viral hearing about things like Red versus Blue.
Yeah.
That probably grew up around people playing games and things.
Exactly.
So it's really interesting. It's cool.
Yeah. But yeah, so they have tons of series that have now been divided into so many channels. But yeah, I would say like out of a lot of YouTubers we've covered, this one is definitely a business. Like,
oh yeah,
they're not just like a YouTube channel anymore. In fact,
sure.
The videos is not really what they do anymore.
So what would you say?
They're definitely a studio or a production company. So from what I've heard in America, I say America, like I've got an agent over there. Clive Daniels, what was that?
My people in America.
They do a lot of adverts for companies, special effects. They use their warehouses, studios to do a lot of footage, sometimes even for movies.
They're a media company, basically. Production,
They've even made their own movies on YouTube Red and stuff like that.
The other thing I find really cool about YouTube is people that have created entire businesses.
Yeah. And these are big. Like, a lot of people who are maybe don't know YouTube that much would think, sure, business. Anyone can make a limited company. But this Rooster Teeth's got like a good 200 employees.
It's got more than 350.
350 now?
Yeah.
Jeez.
So that's a quite big company. That's that's a medium-sized company.
Yeah.
Which is pretty awesome. I mean, good for them. It's just I'd be so interested to see like what the makeup of their revenue is.
Oh, like where all the streams come from? Yeah,
like, which series is contributing what percentage and what other activities they do is doing what, it'd be really interesting.
Yeah.
Because that's such like I don't know, it's such like a modern company in a way that's quite unlike a lot of others.
Yeah.
Because their job is to make viral content, or a big part of what they do. So if everyone just decides they don't like Red versus Blue anymore, it's like
so you got so many that's what every YouTuber kind of dreams of. Like everyone goes as far as like main channel, secondary channel,
a second one, possibly a third.
Yeah, if I'm vlogging now.
But that's literally it. Like, I've got a YouTube channel, I'm really big, but oh no, I've got to diversify. What happens?
Let me show my day-to-day life.
I'll just vlog.
Yeah. Here's me at the toilet. Here's me at the supermarket. That's why I eat.
So pointless, yeah. But I mean, I always respect people that do it smart and actually build up companies and other stuff out of it.
Yeah.
Because it's the only way to do it right, really.
Yeah. And they're also pretty humble about it. They know that, when you say this idea to like any mum at a grocery store, they're like, really? You made a company out of that? But Bernie's done like so many keynotes on how you can turn an idea into a company, and he's kind of done it pretty well.
Yeah, he's really proved it.
Yeah.
So would you say is Bernie like the the main guy? Is he like the main driver?
Yeah, he was the I forget how these work, CEO or CFO, whatever.
He was originally the CEO.
Yeah, then
right?
he gave that role to, I think his surname's Hullum. I don't know if it's Matt. Yeah, it's Matt Hullum. Gave it to him so that he could work just on the creative bit. So
so now he's creative director.
Yeah.
Which I don't think has an acronym, actually. CDO?
CDO?
No.
COD.
No,
but yeah, so he did that so that, maybe take away the boring work.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. Which, I mean, if he started out making videos...
True.
It's pretty cool. Are all the other people that started it still at the company?
Yeah, a lot of them are. Like, I can name quite a lot. So like Joel Heyman, like a lot of the people that that were there at the start are still there. They just are less on camera. They're more in the back office. So you got Jeff Ramsey, he's now in charge of the channel that they call Achievement Hunter. That's like Rooster Teeth just for games. They also have the Let's Play channel, which is Let's Play the Games. They have two channels for games.
That is diversification. Yeah, exactly. You play the games on one, you get the achievements on the other.
That's actually what it was after. It was like, how do you get this achievement in this game? And now they just kind of made it a bit more social. But yeah.
It's pretty cool.
And then you got some other people that just work on like the finance bill, the creative bill, like even the makeup, like Jeff Ramsey's wife is basically the one who's in charge of like the sets and the makeup and the costumes for all their stuff.
So she's like art director.
Yeah, basically.
Oh, that's cool.
And she'll be in a podcast or two, but you would think she's not really around, but it's just a lot of these old timers, and they are pretty old as well. So they've been around for a while and they're just in the background.
Yeah. I actually watched one of Bernie Sanders. I watched one of Bernie Burns' vlogs the other day. Mm-hmm. It was a nice vlog. Like I gotta say.
He did it for a whole year. I just realized I didn't know that that's what he was doing.
Yeah. But I think he did. The one I watched was the most recent one, but I think that was his
last one.
It was his last one. Yeah. So I don't know if he was different from the others, but it was just nice. Like it was a very chilled take on a vlog.
Yeah, I think that's the only one I've seen as well. I think maybe I saw one in the middle.
It was just like super refreshing, but you could see that he's a creative kind of guy, because what he was doing was normal, nothing special, but the way he kind of had it edited together, the way he, put some music in certain parts and it was just nicely done. It was classy AF.
Absolutely. It reminded me that not all vlogs have to be like Jake Paul, Logan Paul.
Yes.
It doesn't have to be in your face.
I got the same thing and I was like, wow, there's another way to do this. Can we have like, I don't know, more of this? But I don't know if you could watch a lot.
It makes more sense for him because he's doing it in a way like...
He's an adult.
Yeah.
It's literally that. He's an adult.
He's twice Logan's age.
Yeah.
Like, he's done it in a way that I can watch this back. Like himself, he can watch this back later and be like, yeah, I accomplished this. Yeah. Like, I think it even had like a shot of his family coming for dinner or something like that. Like, it's a very... Yeah.
Just like, you gotta go pick up, groceries or whatever.
Yeah.
Plus, I kind of like his working life as well. It's pretty chill. Like, go to a meeting, do some emails. I don't know, just going place to place.
Yeah, and he loves his technology, which is pretty cool to see. Because everyone assumes like old people would just give up. But,
Yeah, but come on, the dude invented a YouTube company. Like,
that's true. He can't be backwards.
Yeah. With the Alexa that he was using.
Oh yeah.
Pretty good.
You're not happy you didn't choose Google Home.
Yeah, but the thing is with the Alexa, you can set up whatever you want to say to it to wake it up. That's why he's always like, he says, computer, blah, blah, blah.
Oh.
Yeah, so you can't do that on Google.
Hit Pause Podcast sponsored by Amazon.
Take that back. Today. Take that back. Amazon, you haven't paid us.
Oh boy.
So, I like him.
Yeah.
In terms of like other people at the company.
Yeah.
I find they're a little bit hit and miss. Like, I've watched a few podcasts, and the podcasts are
those
mostly...
are definitely hit or miss because they have so many people. They do have regulars, sure.
Yeah, the regulars are mostly pretty good.
Yeah,
but then there's kind of occasional randoms that come on that are just like, Oh, it's not that they're not good people. It's just that they just don't vibe well with the regulars, or like the regulars aren't very welcoming kind of.
Yeah, totally agree. That's always, I guess, the trick when you got many people. Lucky for us, it's just you got us every Tuesday.
That's right.
But yeah, some people clearly gel because they've been together long or they've worked together.
Exactly. I get that. But yeah, it just means like I'm definitely not gonna listen to every one of the podcasts.
Yeah. And yeah, speaking of their podcasts, since I guess we do podcasts as well, their like first one, or their first initial reasons for doing a podcast was literally to get free beer. So their podcast till maybe like 120. Their podcast was called The Drunk Tank.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh. And basically, they just wanted to be sponsored by beer so they could drink beer in the podcast. Then they realized, oh, wait, now that we've got this, other people aren't like our sponsors because we're associated with beer. So they changed it. They changed it to the Rooster Teeth podcast.
They don't drink beer now either, I noticed.
Oh, yeah. Well, they might from time to time, depending on the sponsor.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah,
like Amazon, they don't mind us drinking beer right now.
Whoa.
I mean, we're not doing that.
Well, you didn't hear that, sponsors. But that's kind of one of the sad parts of becoming like a proper company.
Yeah, so many rules to follow.
Yeah, it's like, we could be drinking beers or doing it exactly the way that we want, but we can't because at the end of the day, we need sponsorship money, we need whatever.
I have a secret feeling about like why Rage Quit, the series that I liked, kind of stopped, is because they have that gaming channel where they do news and stuff like that. They've obviously partnered well with some of these companies in the industry like Ubisoft, blah blah blah. They can't have someone in their YouTube channel screaming at a game that they've made. Like, I bet there's some inside stuff or like, dude, stop these videos, they're not good for us.
That's interesting.
I wonder.
It kind of partly depends how their company's kind of set up internally. Yeah. Because, that could be the case, but then they could say, well,
it's a separate entity.
Rage Quit is we don't control that.
Yeah.
That's their own thing, and it's not really seen as, I guess it's seen as a Rooster Teeth thing.
Yeah, because of some corporate umbrella, but on its own, it probably stands as it is.
Yeah, interesting. But that is the sad part about becoming like a big, full-on, like, serious company, but...
Yeah, like us.
Yeah. I hope we never get like that.
So, speaking of podcasts, have you ever heard of Gavin on the podcast?
Gavin, yeah, because I have watched a couple of the podcasts. I watched them as well, so...
he is probably... Is he the only British guy? Yeah, he's the only British guy. I guess Bernie's personal assistant is British, but other than her, Gavin is...
Oh, yeah, of course, Gavin. Yeah, I totally know him,
yeah. He does not do us service. Like, I remember in uni watching podcasts, listening to him on the podcast, like, you are embarrassing us. First of all, he's telling everyone, and I know everyone in America can be seen as impressionable, but I would believe it too if I was American. He goes about saying British people... Okay, how do you call, when you go into a bathroom in like the airport, the thing men use, what do you call it? Starts with a U.
Urinal.
He calls it a urinal.
Urinal?
What is that?
Urinal. You know what? I might sometimes say urinal.
What? Really?
I don't know why I said urinal right now.
Because of Uranus.
Don't use Uranus at urinals.
That's actually pretty good.
Now you've said it, I'm like, urinal. Urinal sounds better to me now.
Oh boy. Okay, let's move on. But yeah, basically...
Which part of the UK is he from?
I should know this.
Is it north or south?
It's one of the shires. That's as much as I got. I'm going to say south. Definitely south.
Is he a hobbit? No.
Unsubscribe. But yeah, so basically he's known as the guy who says the weirdest stuff. So like, here's one of my favorite things he said.
Okay, go on.
basically, I think they got like a expert, like physicist or whatever on the podcast, so Gavin could just go nuts with his questions. So main question he asked is...
Wait. Does Gavin know about physics?
It's going to take a lot of podcasts to find the truth. Basically, he's got a lot of smarts, but it's putting it pieces together. That's the hard part.
He dropped out of uni, is what you're saying.
Yeah. Although
maybe he's studying physics.
Yeah, who knows? So his thing was, if you put an aeroplane on a treadmill, will it ever take off?
What?
Because it's going so fast, surely it should get off it eventually. And there's like so much of a debate on that podcast about that one question.
Oh, really?
It's hilarious.
It's a good question.
It is a good question. It's just the fact that that's how his mind thinks.
I would say yes.
I believe the physicist...
Actually, I would say no.
Yeah.
I take it back. I say no.
Yeah, I don't think it would. I think the answer was also no. Also, it's not possible.
Depends on the shape of the aeroplane. Because it needs upwards...
Oh, we got a contender.
Okay, let's go. Okay. Skip this. Hit pause on this discussion.
Another one is like, if I was falling off a plane, a lot of planes here, if I had 30 seconds left to live.
Okay. Wait.
No. Falling off a plane, but hungry. 30 seconds left to live before you die of hunger.
Right, all right. Okay, so I've dropped out of the plane.
Yep. And you're falling down.
So hungry.
So hungry.
I'm 30 seconds away from dying from hunger.
Yeah.
Okay.
2 seconds before that 30 seconds is over. Right? So you got 2 seconds left now.
Right.
If you saw a piece of bread, would you develop the energy, maybe adrenaline, to grab the bread that you have surprisingly got more than 2 seconds? Basically, can adrenaline add more time to your minutes, your seconds left?
Can we just wait? Let's just hit pause on this.
See, I hit pause a lot on his question.
Let me just say, what relevancy does the aeroplane have, or falling out of the plane? You just I'm just can just be on the floor with 30 seconds to live, or 2 seconds to live.
I know. I totally agree.
I mean, come on. Well, forget the 30 seconds. Just give me 2 seconds. So he's saying, okay, you're 2 seconds away from dying of hunger. Would the
adrenaline of like, I see bread now, stop that from being a thing?
Yeah, and you can quickly get the bread.
Yeah.
He was asking a physicist this?
I think this may have been the one just in general.
Okay, fine.
What do you think the answer is?
What do I think?
Yeah.
I think you would, if you were 30 seconds away from dying, I don't think you'd even be able to notice the bread properly.
Yeah,
you'd probably be you'd
ready
be
to
so
faint or die.
Emaciated. You would be you just wouldn't even be able to do it. And to be honest, even if you did get that and eat that bread,
you wouldn't.
It wouldn't go through your body quickly enough to save you from dying anyway.
Yeah.
It's not going to nourish you quickly enough, so you die either way. I mean, what did they say? What did they come up with on the?
You would still die or not be able to get it regardless of your hope.
Sweet, I got it right.
Yeah, hope is not a thing.
Is that on the podcasts?
Yeah, there's so many I could barely reference which one that's from. But yeah, that's kind of him in a nutshell. And I know actually something happened recently, which I guess we could talk about like discreetly or out of respect.
Yeah. So, it came up in the news recently, but basically, Gavin and his wife, Meg, who is also
are they married? What?
Oh, sorry, maybe not wife then.
Let's just call it partner.
Partner, fine, Meg. But they, so Meg also has a channel where she, I don't know, she does all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, and she also used to be on the Rooster Teeth, that gaming channel, called The No as well.
Yeah. So they live together, and some guy, some kind of, well, like, let's be honest, some pretty not straight in the head kind of guy turned up at their house with a gun, got into the house, broke in basically, and was going about the house with a gun looking for them. They had seen him enter or heard him enter.
Yeah.
And they heard, I think he actually fired a shot in the house, and they hid in the cupboard upstairs. So he looked around for them for a while, and they called the police, I think, from the cupboard.
Yeah.
And this crazy guy looked around for them for a while, ended up leaving, got into his car or was on his way to, something happened as he was leaving. And the police basically ended up shooting the guy.
Yeah, because he would have dropped the gun, or he may have opened fire or something.
Yeah,
like
it was actually the report. The reports still aren't that clear what exactly happened, but either way, he was waving around a gun. He fired it. He was looking for those two. I think what his aim was, he was obsessed with Meg for some reason, and wanted to cause her harm.
Yeah, and basically. Definitely more so to Gavin, because he apparently didn't like Gavin and thought Gavin wasn't worth Meg or something like that.
Yeah, it was like a kind of weird
he had so many text messages that was basically maybe a week prior saying how much he doesn't like Gavin and blah, blah, blah. But this is my plan and all that.
Yeah. So it was like... I want Gavin to be as unhappy as I am, and I'm going to do that by killing his wife, who I'm in love with.
And I'm sure she'll somehow.
Anyway, it's really upsetting, and it's awful for them. It's really so good that they're okay. It's sad as well that the guy ended up getting shot, because he obviously has some issues. Who knows? Maybe he could have been helped, but That's these things happen, but
and like to anyone I guess out there who like thinks this whole YouTube thing stays in a little like small bubble, but you can see that they're basically celebrities, and like sometimes if you do need a bodyguard, you do need a bodyguard.
See, that's the thing with a lot of YouTubers. I think when they get big, they don't expect that kind of because the thing that's different about YouTube is it's so personal.
Yeah.
Like, you really kind of get close, or, you feel close to the people
in comparison to, like, Johnny Depp, where we'll honestly vlogs. We'll never really know.
It's like, oh, wow, Johnny Depp. Obviously, I would love to meet him.
Yeah.
But he's a distant kind of, on another level kind of character. But when you talk to people one-to-one almost... like you do with YouTube, it's a whole other
different
thing.
Form of idolship.
I mean, having said that, there's plenty of crazy people that have tried to cause celebrities harm.
Yeah, this isn't the first case of like a YouTuber, for example.
Yeah, but anyway, either way, whatever. It's really awful, but glad that they're okay.
They're both okay.
So yeah.
It's like, that's kind of them in a nutshell. They're just a huge company, loads of employees, so many streams, so many revenue streams.
I know. I mean, I really want to see what their earnings are, and I really want to see the makeup of it. But I tried looking for it online, and I couldn't find anything. But at this point, we can't even really call them YouTubers. Like, they're just a company.
They are, exactly. You can maybe call the individual employees YouTubers. They all seem to have their own, like, channels as well. So speaking of Gavin, Rooster Teeth has also made some, like, I guess, acquisitions. So, like, they brought...
it's just so funny to see that they are a company. Like, I don't know why I should be so shocked about this. Like, there is a lot of money in YouTube, but they are a company, and they're just so full. Anyway, carry on. So, acquisitions.
one acquisition, one merger, I guess, that I can speak of. The acquisition... Well, let's talk about the merger. So, Gavin, he and his friend in England, forget what his name is, had a channel called the Slow-Mo Guys. Now, the Slow-Mo Guys is a big YouTube channel. They got lots of subscribers.
By the way, let's just talk about them for a second, but their basic entire whole thing, USP, unique selling point, is just, we've got the best slow motion camera.
Oh my gosh. Exactly.
There we go. Done. That's the end of it.
I'll even give you a brief history as how it started. Gavin, so there's one director who worked on, not Avatar, maybe let's just say, what's that one where Mad Max? So like imagine it was something like that, and he was basically just a volunteer, and the director had this camera, and he was like kind of showing Gavin how to use it. This was like maybe it was like 15, and then he just kind of gave him the camera over time, and then that camera was like one of 6 that had the highest frame rate for like slow motion at that year.
So wait, he Gavin?
Yeah.
So Gavin started out slow-mo, guys?
He got the camera and maybe did the videos with his friend. I don't know if he started on his own, but he definitely got the camera.
But he was one of the founders of slow-mo, guys.
Yeah.
So
it's just him and his friend.
So he only joined Rooster Teeth via...
That's the... I could actually say that as well.
Okay, wait. Let's get there in a sec.
Yeah.
But So he was working on a movie as a scrub, whatever, runner, whatever.
Yeah. Internship, who knows.
Yeah. And he just got to play around with the fancy, expensive camera.
And then the guy noticed he was good with it. It's like, okay, you start taking the shots, blah, blah, blah. And then awesome. Before I know it, and maybe summarizing the story, he kind of got the camera, and that camera was really rare and really expensive.
He gave it to him, or he just got to, he got it on he got to use it.
Imagine if you had a good friend who doesn't mind.
He just got to borrow it. Yeah. He's not going to give it to him. That camera's probably like, $100,000 or something.
Yeah. So then, with his skill, as he learnt it, he noticed other companies doing movies. There's actually a list of movies he's done, and he does movies till today.
Oh, cool.
Where he just basically goes on a plane and takes a slow-mo camera and does all their shots for them.
Yeah.
So he's kind of big outside of YouTube and Rooster Teeth.
And he's literally, it's actually cool.
Like simple and clear cut.
He's just really good at one very specific thing, which is complex. I'm not saying it's easy, but it's just one very specific, very niche thing that very few people can do or are good at.
Exactly. So he did that. He basically just got started doing YouTube videos with his friend, and it's literally just the two of them, and they take slow motion stuff like a watermelon exploding. Cool to see. Gets views on YouTube.
Exactly, yeah.
So he did that.
And once you've got the camera, how cheap is that to make?
Exactly. And then, but his thing is, every time there's a new camera, he buys it. And they're expensive. They're like, we're talking millions. Like, it's actually that much. Yeah. Like, really? The cameras he's getting that he takes to the movies are, and I think that's the same one he uses for their videos.
Wow.
So he's done that, but then just let's say halfway in his progress of doing slow motion videos, he was a fan of Rooster Teeth, and like he played Halo with them, like the founders and stuff online.
Cool.
So they used to just talk whilst they're in America and he's in England, and they're like, "Yo, do you want to just like come work for us, and we can make these videos offline," kind of thing. He couldn't get a visa, and the only thing that could help him live in America was you need to have a skill or company somewhere in between. And he used slow-mo guys. He like registered it in a way so that could be his way to get into America. And then when he got there, it got even bigger because now he obviously had an American audience, and now I think it might even have like 7 mil, if not the same subscribers as Rooster Teeth, and does actually get more views. I remember Bernie saying, how hilarious is this that your channel that you don't really care about, it has more views, gets more views than us.
Well, dude, that stuff is so shareable, and it's so shareable. Any video that comes out of there basically gets an article about it.
Your mum would love it.
Yeah,
you don't have to be a gamer or know about cameras.
I just saw one the other day. It was like one of the old like fat TVs, and it was just one of those in slow motion, and it was actually so cool. But you could see each line of Super Mario getting rendered. Literally line by line of pixels. And then not only lines going down, you could see the individual pixels lighting up one by one.
Jeez.
Awesome. It's just awesome. That's so cool.
It's just amazing to watch, honestly. Like, it's an easy sub if you just want to see something cool. Like,
exactly.
Rooster Teeth basically, since Gavin was working with them, it's like, let's just merge these two together. Whatever profit, money, blah, 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 they agreed, sure, in the background. But so they became under their wing. And then an actual acquisition is a YouTube channel called Funhouse.
Yeah, Funhouse, Funhaus.
Which has so many. Channel. Their merch, I even saw their merch at Comic-Con. Because they do like, I think it's like Fun House in like the Pornhub kind of thing. Everyone gets it.
I've seen
Everyone
it.
gets it. I don't know why it's so trendy. I've seen it. Yeah. So there used to be a channel called Inside Gaming on Machinima's YouTube channel. Mm-hmm. Then Machinima were kind of like shutting them down. Machinima does that a lot, actually, that YouTube channel. They shut a lot of people down. But they make them popular.
Everybody hates Machinima.
They're basically Jake Paul. If you think about it. They get people go there to make themselves big and then
they leave. Yeah.
So they were one, and before they left, Rooster Teeth were like, because they're based in Texas, and all the fun and all the good stuff happens in LA, they were like, let's just set up a company for you, and then you can be our like LA office. We will make your company, and then whatever, again, blah blah blah, profit sharing, all that stuff got done, and then they became Funhouse.
Oh no, okay, that's pretty awesome.
So yeah,
actually, pretty good story.
And because they've always they've always said working away from all these other YouTubers, like Silicon Valley is like the home for like
like startups and everything. Exactly. Like that's why all the YouTubers are in LA or whatever.
Yeah, so it kind of isolated Rooster Teeth, but now that they got this, there's no reason to as well. Yeah, because they can work from there. Sometimes they know the gaming informing channel operates there. They share. It's really cool to just bounce from company to company to do the same thing.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Pretty awesome.
It's business.
All right. Thanks for tuning in. This has been the Hip Pause podcast. Next week,
we have Cinema Sins.
That'll be on Tuesday, so be sure to listen in.
Every Tuesday, we got a video for you.
Every Tuesday.
And a podcast.
Well, right now it's just a video podcast. But yeah.
But if you minimize the window, it's a podcast.
Right. So it's 2 in 1.
You get it right here at Hip Pause Podcast.
Innovate. All right, bye.
See ya.